Far-right politicians, including Donald Trump, are staging attacks on education all over the world. We're seeing this in the USA. Donald Trump has most particularly picked on Harvard University, but plenty of others are also subject to his attack, and it's ongoing. We may not be hearing about it in the UK, but time after time I am, because I'm monitoring this, partly because I'm an ex-university professor, a retired university professor, but also because where the US goes, the UK often follows, both culturally and politically. And what we are seeing from far-right politicians on both sides of the Atlantic are direct attacks on higher education that are an absolute assault on democracy. This matters. As a political economist, I see dangerous patterns emerging. In particular, I see those with power trying to remove the right to a rounded education from ordinary people. Why are they doing that? For one very simple and very straightforward reason, and that is that they feel threatened. Ordinary people who can question what they're doing, who can question their assault on democracy, who can question their use of force, and who can question the fact that they're even promoting things like genocide, are a threat to the power base of the right wing and their agenda. The authoritarian playbook is literally being seen in use here. We've seen it with Viktor Orban in Hungary. He subdued the military. Then he subdued the courts. Then he came for the media. And after that, he tried to oppress education. Trump is doing the same, literally following the same steps. And higher education is now in his firing line. Universities nurture critical, questioning citizens. And that's the last thing that authoritarians like Viktor Orban in Hungary and Donald Trump in the USA want. But the threat is here in the UK too. We're seeing growing narratives about overseas students, with the implication being made that they are to blame for broken Britain, even though there's absolutely no substance to that. We're seeing ministers attacking so-called lefty academics and who are demanding that right-wing ideas be taught in universities as if they never were. Because to create balance, of course, a range of ideas are taught at universities. In particular, we're seeing UK ministers talking about slashing funding for the arts and humanities, and universities are closing courses as a consequence, because those types of course do in particular encourage critical thinking, and critical thinking threatens power. And we're seeing very clear guidance being issued to try to restrict the right to campus protest, which is something that has always been a part of the student experience. Students are angry. If you're not angry at 20, when will you be? If you're not an idealist at 20, have you got any chance of understanding what idealism might ever be? And they're doing this because they're claiming that students are showing political bias, as they should. Whether that be left or right doesn't matter. They have the right to show bias. And this is dangerous because right across the spectrum, politicians are demanding that conservative ideas be put on university curricula. And these aren't normal ideas. These are extreme ideas. Ideas about white supremacy, for example, because critical race theory is now being criticized. Ideas that suggest slavery wasn't so bad after all. And ideas about empire, as if it was justified. Ideas about evangelical Christian thinking, as if it is a norm, when it clearly isn't. And demands are made for things like patriotic history to be taught, which supports this idea that we have the right to dictate to the rest of the world. There's nothing in this that is about fairness. There's nothing in this that is actually about critical thinking. This is about a claim to superiority, and it's about a right to shape knowledge, to pursue the claim to power. And this isn't just happening in universities. We're seeing it creeping down. The universities are being underfunded in the UK, But so too are schools, and so too is the demand being made of schools that they will teach in accordance with these curricula as well. The attempt is to close minds to possibilities from the earliest possible age. In the USA, that's being seen by the closure of the Federal Education Department. And it's being seen by changes to individual state curricula as well. Here, we see the same sort of thing happening with regard to changes being demanded of the history curriculum. The desire in all this is to create ignorance, and ignorance is the bedrock of tyranny. That's why I'm speaking out. Knowledge as power is precisely what the right wing fear. They fear the power that knowledge brings. As a political economist, I know that informed people challenge rigged systems. That's what I taught people to do. And I will continue to write and speak to defend education as the cornerstone of not just democracy, but the well-being of people who need to understand and challenge the society in which they live so that well-being is improved. In the past, slaveholders banned reading. Fascists burned books. Autocrats have closed universities. Totalitarian states have dictated precisely what may be taught. I believe in democracy. I believe in free, open, secure societies. And to get them, we must defend education. Because wherever democracy dies, ignorance marched first. Thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do click the like and subscribe buttons because they do genuinely help us spread the word on YouTube. As importantly, could you have a look at the section below this video where it says more, and there you'll find a link to my blog. And if you follow that for the specific link to the blog entry related to this video, you'll find a transcript of this video and lots of other related material, plus a ChatGPT prompt that you could use to write a letter to your MP on the contents of this video, which will turn you into a campaigner, which will be a great thing to do. Finally, if you do appreciate the work we're doing, can you think about giving us a donation? If you'd like to do so, there's a link below, or you can find one on my blog where there's a Ko-fi button saying, please buy me a coffee. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon.